What's up, guys? Good afternoon, wherever you're at. Good morning, good evening. How are we doing? Happy Friday. Sorry about the wait and the switching around of stuff. Classic Mercury retrograde madness. um, Mercury retrograde is still in full effect, you guys, okay? And it's all about changing and going back and redoing things. So there was a lot of that going on behind the scenes. So sorry to keep you guys waiting. But what's up? Happy Friday. This is April with astrolada.com. I'm here with my weekly astrology / coffee talk. So for those who are new to my weekly live broadcast, what I do is I go through the astrology from one week to the next, from one Friday to the next Friday. And we also use a celebrity's birth chart as an example of how astrology works. What's going on in the world? What's going on with this person? How can we learn from what's going on with them to figure out how to use astrology to see what's going on with us, right? So yeah, so that's what we're talking about. And my cup today is this sky blue one. There's nothing written on it. You guys know I usually have like one that has a little cute little saying on it, but this color is a very calming color, and it's because calmness is needed right now with all the crazy energy going on right now in the sky. Let me tell you, I'm sure you guys have got some stories. Feel free to share them in the chat and in the comments below. How has Aries season been treating you? Okay, how has it been treating you? How have the squares from the planets in Aries to the planets in Capricorn been treating you? What about that Mars and Saturn conjunction going on in Capricorn? How you doing? How's everybody doing? So that's what's lingering right now, and it's going to be lingering for a while, you guys. It's going to be lingering, I'm going to say through the middle of April, and then towards the end of April, we still have Mars. It's going to ease away from Saturn, but then it's going to ease towards Pluto and come into a conjunction with Pluto. So I'll definitely be here to talk about that and cover that for you guys as well. But Mars and Saturn and Capricorn still lingering, you know, for some people, it's been a positive thing. It's helped them to get focused. It's helped them to get organized. It's helped them to be really steady. It's helped them to really believe in themselves with what they can accomplish. For others, it's been not as great. It's been like people putting a lot of pressure on themselves to succeed, and you know, if they feel like they're failing at something, like really getting like aggravated about it. For some people, it's been, you know, Mars is anger and everything, and it's being impatient. And then Saturn rules, and Capricorn both rule, you know, the establishment, the government, people in power, corporations. And I'm not going to get too much into it, but I'm sure you guys are aware, you've heard the news that there was someone earlier this week that attacked people at the YouTube studios in California in the US because they were very upset about the demonetization and the rules and all that. So this person, this lady was based on the birth date that her family gave. I know there's conflicting ones in the news. She was an Aries sun and a Scorpio moon, and her moon was probably conjunct Uranus. And Uranus is about freedom. We're going to be talking a lot about Uranus today and in the weeks to come, you guys. Let me tell you. But this is one example of Uranus. Uranus is about freedom, and especially, oh my God, no English. Okay, especially freedom of expression. Uranus is all about that. Like, I just want to be free to be me. And if anybody tries to stop me, I'm going to get like really upset. So, and then Scorpio can be very vengeful. So with her being a moon in Scorpio, conjunct Uranus, and being an Aries, you know, all this Capricorn stuff is, YouTube is a corporation. It's a large company, right? And then she's an Aries sun, you know, so she was squaring off between herself and corporations with not allowing her to be herself, right? So that's an unfortunate event that happened, but it was still an interesting observation to see I think it was like the day that Mars conjunct Saturn, like when it was exact and really, really heavy. That's when this incident came about. Um, so it's really crazy. So nobody go ballistic like that. Okay, we don't need any more of that in this world. All right. So Mars and Saturn, don't let it get to you in that way. Just use it to zone in and zoom in and not see things in a way that's more like, oh, life is so hard, it's such hard work, and I don't know if I can. No, see it as like, okay, that's what I want to do, and I believe that I'm able to do it, and whatever it takes to get there, I'm going to do that. You know what I'm saying? No matter how hard it may be, I can handle it. You know, that's the proper way to use Capricorn energy with these two. Usually they're called malefics, or very harsh planets, together, working together in this sign. So yeah, that, David said, oh, hey, what's up, David? David says, I heard there's been censoring, especially with astrology, like astrological content being flagged. You know what? I haven't heard that, David, but please elaborate more, because as an astrologer, I think I would want to know about that. Okay. I want to know more about. Oh, people are commenting on my shirt. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm wearing this alien shirt. It has aliens and rocket ships. Okay. Because something I have in the works that's very special for you guys that Lada and I are working on is we are going to be doing a webinar on May 6th this year for Uranus and Taurus. Yes, I cannot wait to talk about Uranus and Taurus. So Uranus moves into Taurus in May, in the middle of May. So in the beginning of May, we will be here to talk about it through this webinar. We're going to be talking for a few hours live to you guys to let you know what to expect globally and stuff like that with with Uranus and Taurus, with that shift, and also what to expect by sign. How is Uranus going to affect you just based on your sun, moon, or rising? Also aspecting your house cusp, aspecting your personal planets. Examples, like there's just so much that we're going to include in this webinar, like lots of information. So if you're curious about this transit, if you're looking forward to it, don't forget Uranus only goes through a sign once every 84 years. Okay, so not everybody lives to see their Uranus return or Uranus return back to another sign. For a lot of people, it is a once in a lifetime transit. So we are doing this webinar in May. The link is already down below in the description area of this live video. And when it's recorded, it'll be there as well. And we'll try to put it in the little information button up there too. So yeah, so Uranus and Taurus webinar, me and Lada will be presenting. And you guys know Lada is an Aries. She has a stellium of planets in Aries. And she is finishing up Uranus, plowing through her whole entire world, honey. Okay, so you know she has some stuff, some great advice to give us that she will be giving in this webinar. So Uranus and Taurus, check it out, check it out. Oh, and also it's on sale through May 1st. So early bird special, you can get it for 20% off through May 1st. So peep it down below. Okay. So that's why I'm wearing the alien shirt, to celebrate, you know, this little project that me and Lada have completed. And I love aliens. I'm a Uranian person. A lot of you guys already know that. I've talked about my placement several times, but if you don't know, I have Uranus in my first house of the self. And by sign, it opposes almost all of my personal planets. So I'm like mad Uranian. And I have an 11th house little stellium going on too. So Uranus is my guy. Okay, so now moving along to your astrology for the week, what is going on? So there's no ingresses of planets into new signs. There's no shift like that happening. However, whenever there's no ingresses into a new sign, and I just go over the astrology of the week, just the aspects and what to expect on a general level, people get all mad and they're like, oh, you didn't talk about me. You didn't talk about my sign, boo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over one of the aspects and tell each sign the areas of life that it's going to affect you guys, so that you still get some kind of horoscope by sign this week. So I will make sure to do that for you guys. So now, and then in the end, yes, coffee talk. I'm going to quickly go over the divorce of Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan. I don't know how to properly pronounce her last name, forgive me, but his wife, okay? We're going to go over their divorce and see like what's going on in their world. That could, and you know, maybe it can help you guys learn some possible divorce signifiers in a chart, like in your own astrology, to maybe kind of like foresee a rocky time in your marriage, to maybe ahead of time, you know, maybe do something about it, to maybe possibly save your marriage from getting to that point. So we're gonna learn a little bit about that through these guys at the end of the broadcast. So the aspects happening this week from April 6th through April 13th of 2018. So Venus trine Saturn, that is happening on the 7th, on April 7th. So Venus trine Saturn, and then Venus will trine Mars on the 11th of April. So that is giving us a little bit more of an ease away from the stressful, tense aspects of the squares that Aries planets are making to the Capricorn planets of Mars and Saturn. Because Venus, you already know Venus's energy, it's all pleasant and, you know, hey guys, let's all just get along and be happy and harmonious and peaceful, right? So Venus is shooting over these like rainbows to Mars and to Saturn, telling them like, no, it's cool. We don't have to be, you know, so angry. We don't have to be so power hungry and all about war and like fighting and stuff. We can work together, you know, to make some great things happen. So with Venus trine Saturn, they're both in earth signs. If you don't know what a trine means, it means two planets are both in the same element. And so they're sending these wonderful messages to each other to work together. Okay, so Venus, love, money, beauty, vanity, our material world, relationships is Venus. And then Saturn, discipline, authority, hard work, determination, and sticking to the script, sticking to going by the book. Okay, so when these two planets are working together in a positive light together, that Venus rules money, and trine Saturn, that can mean that more people can be possibly earning more rewards, material rewards based on their hard work. Because, you know, Saturn himself, what is going on? Do you guys still see me? Let me know, because it's looking pretty choppy on my end. But it's not saying that I'm off air. Gotta love that Mercury retrograde. Okay. I think we're good. So I'll continue. Okay. So anyhow, Saturn with Venus, you know, Saturn himself rewards if you are doing the work, if you're working very hard. Okay. Then he will say, well, it's kind of like a boss giving you a raise, or a boss giving you an award for something that you've been working very hard on, or just if you've been doing the right things with your job. Saturn will say, here you go, you know, here's a raise, here's a little award, here's a little plaque or something, you know what I mean? Or a pat on the back, like they would say in the workplace a lot. So Saturn could be bringing that. So Megan is saying, my new job is a sales position for a cosmetics company. It is a new industry for me, lots to learn. Congratulations, Megan. And I was reading her comment because Venus does rule cosmetics and like the creation of cosmetics to sell, the distribution of them. And then Saturn is work, it's hard work. So, you know, these two energies working together may be good for that type of a job or that type of industry. Any type of job that Venus rules, or if you are a Venus ruled person, meaning you're a Taurus or you're a Libra, you may feel a sense of extra like determination to work very hard to prove yourself, to achieve higher and greater, and belief in yourself that you can reach these high goals and high standards. Now, when it comes to relationships, Venus and Saturn trine. Well, Saturn is about longevity. It's about stability. It's about investing in things that are going to reap long-term rewards and benefits, not just hot in the moment. Okay. So people may be slowing down if they've been, you know, thoughting around out there a little bit. With Venus trine Saturn, they're like, hold on, wait a second. I think I'm worth a little more than this. And I want something that's going to be for the long run. I want someone that's here for the long run. I want to ride or die. Okay. I don't want just like a flavor of the day or the week, you know? So people, when it comes to love, they may be thinking more about that. Saturn is about legacy. Okay. Like the legacy that you're going to leave behind. So people may be thinking more about that when it comes to their finances and when it comes to the relationships that they're in. You know, can we build a family together? Can we build a future together? Are we investing our money in the right places? Like, does this person that's interested in me, do they believe in 401ks and IRAs and savings plans, or do they just go, woo, like throw their money in the air? What do they do? What can that do for me? So those may be some questions that are coming to mind. Okay. Yes. And David is saying something about an entrepreneurial, I can never say that word right, entrepreneurial spirit. That is so true with these aspects to Saturn. You know, even the Mars one, Mars conjunct Saturn, there is an entrepreneurial spirit in the air of people like wanting to capitalize on things and wanting to really work hard to build a business, you know. So this is a really good season for building businesses too, especially like startup ones or ones that you are like you own it, you know what I mean? Because Aries is in the air too. So that's the good part about all these energies working together. The Aries, the Taurus, and the Capricorn is business. It's a good way. It's a good season for getting that stuff going and continuing to work hard. But the only negatives is like going too far with things like greed or things like wanting to be in such power that you stomp on other people in order to get to the top of the mountain. Okay, so don't allow yourself to go that way. So Venus trine Mars, energy, drive towards Venus things. So it can make people a little bit more persistent when it comes to going after things that they love, people that they have feelings for, but it's not as like, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know why the word ornery came to mind. Ornery, that's like an old school word. It makes me think of the water boy, like alligators are ornery because they have too many teeth. Like, it makes me think of that, but you know what I mean. Aries energy, it can be a little naughty. Like it's like a naughty child that just does things just because. So when it comes to love, with Aries in the air, people can kind of be like that. But I think Venus trine Mars in Capricorn is like, it's a lot more earthy and grounded. It's a lot more about, and it may be more classic when approaching someone that you're interested in a relationship way, you know, like instead of just like, you know how Aries can be. There's some stuff I want to say, but I don't know if it's too inappropriate. But you know how Aries can be though, just really straightforward, like very forward. I'm talking about like you meet them, they're like, hey, how you doing? And then they send you like a picture, you know what I mean? Like one of those pictures. And you're like, okay, that's cool. Like, and I'm actually sharing an actual story from a friend. Okay. I'm not making this up. But when Mars, the ruling planet of Aries, is in Capricorn, may slow that down a little bit. And then Venus in an earthy sign that takes its time, which is Taurus, aspecting that Mars is really like, let's slow our roll. Let's enjoy getting to know each other. Let's enjoy the courting process before we take things to another level. You know what I mean? Like a little more thinking before action. Okay. All right. So, and this is really good energy for having a great drive towards anything Venus ruled, which is money and also creativity as well. And if you are, once again, a Venus ruled person, if you are a Libra or a Taurus, you should have an increase in your energy levels. Okay. That could be really good for, getting things done, getting things accomplished. I am actually I'm a Taurus, and I have a Taurus stellium, and I've been really feeling this Mars thing. Like, you know what I mean? It's been pretty good for energy levels, so I can attest to that. Okay, so the last transit I'm going to talk about is Jupiter. I'm sorry, Sun square Pluto. Okay, now amongst all the positivity, all the positive things that could be going on with the Venus, trining Mars and Saturn, there's still some tense energy. And you know what? Anybody that has gotten a personal horoscope from me for the month of April, I hate repeating myself, but I know I said the word tense and intense so many times, probably like 30 times within those readings that I gave you guys. Oh my gosh. And I hope it wasn't annoying for those of you that did get a reading from me for this month, but that's the best way to describe it, because we've got oppositions and squares, you know what I mean? Mostly the squares happening, and well, tight conjunctions and squares. So that is tense energy, okay? So Sun square Pluto. When I think of this transit, I think of, or this aspect, even in a natal chart or a transit, I think of power struggles, because Pluto can be very powerful, but it's like a silent power, but it can also be an obsession with power too. And especially being in the sign of Capricorn, Capricorn is also a sign that rules power, especially like the corporate structure, you know, and being a powerful person within that world. Capricorn is all about it, especially Pluto in Capricorn. So Pluto and Cap square, it's the sun in Aries, and Aries is about power too. It's like, I just want to push forward and push ahead, you know what I mean, with whatever it is that I want to do in life, and I don't want anybody to get in my way. So, and Capricorn is about the establishment. It's about rules, regulations, the tried and true. We've already been doing it this way, and we don't want to change it. The rules are set in place. And Aries is like, I'm here to break the rules. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here to just do me. So this Sun square Pluto is very tense. Once again, oh my God, I hate repeating myself, but it's true. It is a frustrating aspect. So the energy in the air can be frustrating, especially between people who are not in positions of power, but maybe they want to be, and people who are already in a position of power and authority, especially if both of those parties are very strong-willed. And, you know, both Aries and Capricorn are ruled by, well, they're symbolized by animals that have horns. So think about these two animals, a ram and a goat, locking horns. You know what I'm saying? So it can kind of be like that, just in the air, just in general. So of course, my advice this whole month is like, just watch for people who are like behaving a little too out of control, a little too peculiar, a little like, I don't know, like they don't have positive motives, you know what I mean? Or they're just too raw, you know what I mean? So I'm going to go over each sign, how it's going to affect each sign, which houses that there could be a frustrating tension between for you during this coming week. So once again, April 11th is Sun square Pluto. And remember, when I give the dates of the transits, it's even a few days before, leading up to it, and even a few days after is when you can feel the effects of whatever the energy is. All right, so I'm going to take a sip of my tea before I start losing my voice. You guys know how I roll. I'm going to look at your comments in the chat really quick, and then I'll get to your horoscope, and then we will talk about Channing and Jenna's unfortunate separation. So, yeah. Interesting stuff you guys are talking about. All right, excuse me. Veronica says, your Libra sun, Sag moon, and a Cap rising, you've been really stimulated to work on your project before the deadlines. You were kind of slacking off the past few weeks. I hear you. And you know what? It was probably because we still had Pisces energy hanging around and lingering in March. And Pisces energy is not, Pisces rules relaxation, sleep, dreams, and kind of feeling drained. easily drained. So that's why it was maybe a little bit harder for you to focus on work. For a lot of people, it was, trust me. But then, yeah, once this energy kicked in of Mars and Capricorn is like, we got to get to work, you guys. Combined with Saturn, that's exactly why you have that energy. So thanks for giving us that example, Veronica. Veronica, yeah. Ooh, that's an interesting name. Never heard it with a W. Okay, but yeah, that's what we could be experiencing. Oh, hey, what's up, Cassandra? Cassandra's here. Thanks for coming through. Miss Leo Scorp Aqua, nice to see you here. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Okay. All right. April Elise, what's up? She says, my sun is in Aries, my moon in Libra. I got a new job in a new career field. That is awesome. For Aries people, even if you're an Aries sun, the Capricorn energy of where Mars and Saturn are in your 10th house of career. So that hard work can pay off for you guys right now. That's awesome. Okay, Danielle asks, which planet sign do we have to look for when you go through the individual signs? Which planet sign do we have to go through when you look for when you go? Okay, if I go through the signs for a horoscope, you have to check out, first of all, your rising sign, if you know that. If you don't know that, then go by your sun sign. Your moon sign is last because it's more of like the feeling and the perspective, like emotionally on what's going on around you. But it's more like internal stuff. And the rising and the sun can show more external events that happen outside of you, outside of your own mind. Yes. Okay. All right. So let's get into your horoscopes, so we can have time to get into this coffee talk. I've got like 30 minutes left before I got to go get children from school. Okay. So let's start with Aries, of course. Aries, sun, moon, or rising. Sun square Pluto, April 11th. How's that affecting you? So for Aries people, this is between your first house, which is you, yourself, and your 10th house, which is the public, or could be your career, your bosses that you deal with within your career. It could be your public image, how the public sees your reputation, your title, all that stuff is the 10th house. Struggle there. So you can really be experiencing the power struggle element of Sun square Pluto. It could be that others want to try to control you, but you're not allowing it, you know? Or you really want to be in charge of something, but then there's people who are trying to stand in your way. It could be Aries, I would watch out for, I would definitely, because Mercury is still retrograde, especially watch what you are saying, especially on social media or in the public or to the public, because there could be like something that comes back on you that could possibly not, you know, be not that great for your reputation. Okay. For like how people see you and know you publicly. And it could be like you receiving some kind of like negative feedback or something if you're not careful. So yeah, just watch what you say. But squares are frustrating aspects, but with that frustration can come motivation. So maybe Aries people, this energy can just maybe motivate you more towards achieving your career goals. And if you do have a challenge that's presented to you, just be like, you know what? I'm still me. I'm still in Aries. I'm going to get it done. I'm put my head down. My horns are out. You know what? I'm still going to do it. No matter what. Just don't allow yourself to get in trouble with the authorities or the law or with like bosses at work though, because sometimes that stuff can come up with this type of an aspect. So next up is Taurus, sun, moon, or rising. How is sun square Pluto on April 11th affecting you guys? So this is happening between your 12th and 9th houses. Those were like spiritual areas of your life, Taurus. Pluto is in your 9th, the sun is in your 12th. It could be something with your spiritual beliefs, or it could be something, those are both houses of travel. The 9th house is long distance travel, foreign travel, but the 12th house is far away voyages and journeys that are like way far away at a distance from you. So it could be a struggle between like maybe a decision to go either or, like, should you travel, should you not? With travel, there could be some difficulties there, especially because Mercury is also retrograde in your ninth house. So make sure you are going through all the details, all the fine print, your itinerary, all that stuff, and making sure everything is solid and set before you take action. A struggle between the 12th and the ninth, that could be like, the ninth house can sometimes be like teachers, like people that you consider gurus, actual teachers if you're in school, maybe some Tauruses, because you've got 12th house energy going on, you want to take time out for yourself, but then you still got like these goals to complete, or you've got assignments, or maybe your teachers are putting pressure on you, or other people are putting pressure on you to get that stuff done. But you're just like, oh, I just want to relax, just want to sleep, you know? Between the 12th and the ninth, Sun square Pluto. Yeah, that's where the power struggle could lie, is in those two areas of life. Not too bad, not as like you know, like challenging as other areas of life could be. But between the 12th and the ninth house, yeah, it could definitely be like something revolving around travel or learning something. Maybe you're really trying to learn something, which is the ninth house, but maybe it's hard to focus or concentrate a little bit, you know, like, because the 12th house can rule like daydreaming and like kind of dozing off, you know, and thinking about other things way outside of your regular agenda. It can have you have a loss of focus. So if you are studying something, then it may be a little bit of a challenge this coming week to maintain. But once again, frustration can lead to motivation, which means you can work hard to push through the fog of the 12th house to get your ninth house stuff done. And yeah, so that's for Taurus people. So Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising, how is Sun square Pluto affecting you guys on April 11th? Well, this is between your 11th and 8th houses. The 11th house is friends and people that you are associated with, like in a group or a network. And the 8th house is finances, like joint finances. So Geminis, I would say to be really, really careful this coming week with mixing anything to do with friendship and money, okay? Friendship and joint ventures. Groups of people that you are associated with and doing some kind of finance project with them where you guys will both earn money. There could be some power struggles there, okay? There could be something, sometimes Pluto energy can mean shady business, like that which is hidden beneath the surface. It's taboo. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's something along those lines. So, and also the 8th house and Pluto can rule uncovering hidden information and secrets. So Geminis, you guys may find out something about like friends or through social media about someone you know, or something that you're curious about. That is like a secret. You may find that out. Or Geminis, I would say to be careful with not spilling secrets, especially via the internet this coming week, because that could come back on you in a negative way. Okay, especially with Mercury retrograde in your 11th. Don't do it. And Saturn's about to go retrograde. Gemini. Even if somebody tells you a secret, just don't do it. All right. Yeah, and the money thing with groups of people, just be very cautious. Okay. So next up is Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. How is Sun square Pluto affecting you guys April 11th? Well, this is between your 10th and 7th houses. Could be a power struggle between your career area of life and your relationships. It could be that you want to gain a lot of power right now within your career. You've got an opportunity, you're working really hard, but then there's some conflict within your relationship to where that person's like, well, what about me? Or how are you going to have time for me? You know, there's actually going to be a new moon, which I think I'll talk about next week. There's going to be a new moon in Aries. And so for Cancers, that's going to be in your 10th house of career. So it could be a new career opportunity, but maybe like, is it going to have you working so hard that the schedule is going to be one that won't allow you to always have time to be social or time to put into your relationships with others, you know, especially if you're in a romantic relationship or a marriage or something. Or maybe it could be that your partner doesn't agree with the type of job that you're doing or your career, but you have to kind of fight to prove to them, like, look, this is me, this is what I want to do, and you know, go from there and try to work something out there. Okay, so it is between career and relationships for Cancers. Also be cautious of power struggles between business partnerships too, because like your career and what you want to establish and everything and put out there to the world is the 10th house, and then the 7th house could be partnering with other people, collaborations. Be some little shaky with that, so just be careful. So next up is Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. How is Sun square Pluto affecting you guys? April 11th. So this is between your 9th and your 6th houses. It could be that some of you guys are working very hard and you want to actually get out, get away, go on a vacation, which is the 9th house. But your 6th house is your work, it's your job, and maybe your schedule too. And maybe it's not allowing you to have the time to get away. Maybe there's like a power struggle there. Like you want to take vacation time right now, Leo, and your job is just like not hearing it, you know, because anytime, whenever it's Aries season for Leos, that's the time when you guys will really feel like going off, taking off on a trip and everything. And yeah, it could be that your job, where all the Mars and Saturn stuff is hanging out, and Pluto is like, nah, like we need you here. Nobody else can do your job, or you know, there's just a lot of work to do. It's just not the time to take off, but you're really like antsy and like itching to get away, you know? So it could be something like that. Also, if you're a Leo and you're in school, maybe you want to go back to school, but you don't know if it's going to fit into your schedule because of your job. And there's like a struggle between those two areas that you have to work something out. So that is for Leo people. So Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising, how is the Sun square Pluto affecting you guys around April 11th? So this is happening between your 8th and 5th houses. Okay, so Virgo, those two houses can actually represent, amongst other things, but they can represent romantic relationships, because the 8th house is like a soul bond that you have with somebody, and it's merging with somebody like physically too and intimately. And then the 5th house is casual dating. Okay, so there could be, like, I would say to be careful with your dating life this week, Virgo. There could be a power struggle there. Like maybe someone really wants to merge with you. Like, I just really want to be with you, Virgo. And you're like, no, I only want a casual thing, which is the 5th house. Like, what are you talking about here? Like, I don't want any of that right now. Or it could be, yeah, that somebody that you're casually dating, they want to be intimate with you. And you're like, no, I'm not about that life right now. Or I don't want that from you. You know, I just want to hang out, have a good time, be chill, like very, very lightweight. You know what I'm saying? They want something heavy. It could be people that do have a presence that's kind of heavy, or an energy that's kind of heavy. Like they could be a little intense and like stalkerish, and like, you know, and you just barely got to know them. You're just barely like dating them, and they're like, okay, like you're like, okay, like why are you already asking me who I'm talking to when I'm on the phone around you? Why are you asking me already who's texting me? Like, none of your business. So there's a little struggle there, a little struggle between those two areas. But also the 5th house can represent children, and the 8th house can represent joint finances. So there could be something that comes up for from your kids. Your kids need you to do something, and you know they're going through something, and it's going to be like an expense for maybe you and your partner, or you and their other parent if you co-parent. There could be something with Virgos to where you guys are working on custody of the children, because 8th house, I always see the 8th house end up being like a splitting of resources, finances, and also custody of children when people are separating or going through a divorce. And then the 5th house is children. So there could be something along those lines. It's a little frustrating for you guys this coming week. So just look out for that. So next up is Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. How is Sun square Pluto affecting you guys around April 11th? Well, this is between your 7th and 4th houses, Libra. So this could be a struggle between your relationship partners and your family. So it could be that maybe it's hard, like you're trying to get you know, your family to agree with who you're dating and like them, but there's just like, it's hard to get them to want to get to know each other. It's hard to get them on a cordial level. You know, it's a little bit of a struggle. Seventh and fourth, you know what? There's a YouTuber that I watch that's a Libra. I'm positive he's a Libra rising. He's got Libra radiating off of him like in every way. But he actually had fans, people that like him, which is the seventh house, or unannounced, which is the fourth house, is your home. And that there was a struggle there, you know what I mean, between like other people, fans, the seventh house, and the fourth house of home, and your security and your protection of your feeling like you're comfortable in your shell. And he even said, you know what, you guys, I really like that you guys adore me, or you follow me or whatever, you like me as a fan, but don't come to my house. This is where I feel secure, which is fourth house stuff. Where Pluto is at. So he's already been showing us like what can happen to some Libras. You know, you may feel like other people are threatening your security with where you live, or with your relationship partner. Maybe you just feel like they don't make your home feel like it's pleasant. They don't make your home feel like it's your sanctuary and where you feel safe and where you feel comfortable. And there's something that has to be worked out. You know, so there's a frustration there. Maybe you want to move somewhere, Libra, but then your relationship partner, you guys can't really come together on where you should move. There's like a, you know, like a disagreement, a disbalance there. So that's for Libra people. So for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, is Sun, Scorpio, Pluto affect you guys. What's happening between your sixth house of communication and people that you're on like little teams with? It could be your co-workers, it could be your siblings and those type of people. So anyway, Scorpios are really about that work life right now, okay? Because the sixth house, that's what it's all about. All these Aries planets, well, it's the Sun and Mercury now, are really all right. Am I still on? I think I went off for a second. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know. Mercury retrograde is like messing with my sixth house as a Scorpio rising. Mercury's retrograde in my house of work. So sorry about that. So anyway, yes, for Scorpios, okay, there could be some kind of communication struggle or frustration when it comes to your job, when it comes to your work. So it could be coming from your boss or your coworkers. It could be that there's a miscommunication there. Like you're trying to just work, get that work done, work that overtime or whatever. But then they keep like, well, Scorpio, like we told you to do the job this way, but actually we meant for you to do it this way. Or Scorpio, you misunderstood what we told you about how to do the job. Or, you know, there's some things that you may have to clear up with communication, with emails and things like that. I'll tell you one personal example as a Scorpio rising. I have a lovely client, which all you guys are lovely to me. I have a lovely client that messaged me, and you know, I was like, wait, I thought I already gave you your reading, but it turns out I had two clients by the same first name, and I ended up mixing something up with them. So that's like that whole struggle between the third and the sixth house, communication and your work, your job. And now I'm like, oh wow, so I really gotta clear that up. You know what I mean? I've actually had a couple of those. So please forgive me, you guys, if you're watching, and if I owe you a reading, like I'm still, Mercury retrograde is helping me to go back with the Saturn energy involved and get everything straightened out, to get caught up with all of you guys, to catch up with you via email, to get your readings, because it's kind of screwed everything up. So there's a lot of corrections that need to be done for Scorpio with your work, and the Sun square Pluto can mean maybe there's a power struggle though. Like if you work in a work environment, if you work with coworkers, if you have a boss, there could be a miscommunication there that maybe they misunderstood you or you misunderstood them, and you have to fix it. And hopefully it doesn't end in like any type of, you know, arguments or anything. and power struggles, because Scorpio, this is one of your ruling planets involved here, which is Pluto. And you like to be the one with the power. You don't like people to have power, to think they have power over you or act like it, right? So anyway, yeah, it's between work and communication for Scorpio. So just stay on it, Scorpio, okay? So Sagittarius, sun, moon, or rising. How is the sun square Pluto aspect affecting you guys this next week? So this is between your 5th and 2nd houses. So Sag, you guys are another sign that there could be something involving your children to where they need money from you. They have some surprise. Any other parents out there, do you ever have your kids pop up and they tell you like at the last second, oh, guess what? I need money for blah, 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 blah at school. We're going on a field trip. Oh, when you going on the field trip? Oh, it's tomorrow. Like, are you serious? Yeah, and I need 40 bucks. Like, are you serious? So maybe you guys could have some kind of thing go on that's similar to that. And it could be maybe your children are demanding money from you, but then you're like, okay, like, I don't know if I have the money for that. But there's like a conflict between your children and your money. Could also be romantic people, like people that you're dating casually and something to do with money. There could be an issue there. Maybe you're like, well, I thought you were going to pay for the date. And they're like, well, I thought you were going to. And it's like, okay, well, why should I pay? Well, why should I pay? You know, something like that can come up. It could be with like some kind of creative endeavor that you have that you're trying to use it to make money, but there could be a struggle there as well. Yeah, so it's between the 5th and the 2nd house for Sagittarians. So those are a couple different scenarios that can happen. And like, yeah, there could be the power struggle could be between you and your kid, though, if you are a parent, because just like yesterday, I went with one of my kids just so I could buy myself a shirt. Okay, like I bought this cool alien shirt, you know, and my kid was with me, and he was like, "But mom, I need socks. You're not coming here to buy me something?" And I'm like, "Excuse me," power struggle between 5th and 2nd. Excuse me, but I'm here, like, don't worry about what grown-ups do with their money. So you may, Sagittarius, have moments of that with your kids if you're a parent, or with your romantic partner, like, excuse me, like, this is my money. I make my decisions with my money. So yeah. So anyway, could be something in those regards. So Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising, how is sun square Pluto affecting? Oh my gosh. So this is Pluto in your sign squaring the sun in your 4th house. So this is you and family, Capricorn. Oof. And you know what? I have a lot of Capricorns in my family, and we're all supposed to get together this weekend around this transit. So I'm hoping there's no family drama popping off. But hey, luckily there's an astrologer in the family that can tell everybody, wusa, calmate, okay, it's not that big of a deal. This too shall pass, okay? So other Capricorns out there, there could be that your family is challenging you in some kind of way with anything in your life that you decide to do or that you want to do. It could be that where you live, your home itself, maybe there's a challenge between that and you. Like, you don't really feel like the home is a comfortable place, and it's frustrating you, and you want to do something about it. It could be your landlords, like your landlord against you. Like, hey, Capricorn, you know, I don't know, some issue has come up. We don't know if you can live here anymore or whatever. And you're like, excuse me. There could be power struggles between you and parents, or a parent or mother. A lot of times 4th house is mother. So there could be a struggle there. So yeah, Capricorn, if you have any type of family gatherings or you communicate with your family this coming week, there could be people challenging you or you wanting to challenge them. Could be a little bit of a power struggle, okay? But don't allow it to get to you to like a really crazy level that it doesn't have to get to, okay? So next up is Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising. Oh, got like 10 minutes left. How is sun square Pluto affecting you guys? So this is between your 3rd and your 12th houses. The 3rd and the 12th, that's more like mental for you guys, for Aquariuses. Between the 3rd and the 12th, it's more like of maybe you have a struggle with staying focused. You know, Aries energy in your third house. Third house energy could be Tasmanian devil-like, okay? It can have you bouncing off the walls and just like, woo, like your mind is shifting all over the place. And then 12th house energy could be about like just really being off into outer space. So you may have a struggle with staying focused mentally during this time. But also between the 3rd and the 12th, that's also journeys and going somewhere too. So maybe, and third house can mean vehicles in a way. Maybe you want to go off on a long distance trip, but maybe the way in which you get there, there's some kind of an issue that you have to work out. Yeah, so 3rd and 12th, they're not really like, they're not people houses. So I can't really say it's between you and people. It's more of like a mental thing. There could be just tension and a difficulty with staying on track, because Pluto and Saturn and Mars are also in your 12th house. And that's like really having you look back and reflect and work on a lot of stuff within yourself. And then the 3rd house could be like errands that you have to run, things you do day to day, people that you see day to day. So there could be like a tension there, you know, with you wanting to be like within yourself. But then there's like a lot of stuff to do, and just staying organized and staying on track, you know, you really will have to work on that. Okay, so last but not least, Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising, Sun square Pluto. This is between your 2nd and 11th houses. Pisces, you guys are another sign along with Gemini that needs to be cautious of matters between matters of money and groups, money and networks that you belong to, money and friends. Okay, so loaning money to friends, saying, oh yeah, I'm within this group and I'm gonna fund such and such thing that we're doing. There could be a frustration there. There could be some kind of power struggle. Maybe within the group, you wanna manage the money, or you see great money-making ideas, but they're not always agreed with, okay? Maybe with friends, they're like, hey, Pisces, you know, and you know how Pisces are, you know how we do, we're very empathetic towards people. They'll be like, hey, Pisces, can I borrow $200? I swear I'll pay you back, blah, 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 blah. But who knows if they're really going to do that, okay? So there could be an issue with that, or getting money paid back from a friend. There could be a struggle there. Between the 2nd and 11th house, yeah, it's mostly like finances with other people. Be very, very cautious. And there could be some debates there if you do like just say, oh yeah, let's just do it. Let's just do this thing and get financial gain from it together, you know. Could be a struggle there, so just be careful. So that is it for the weekly forecast. So if you're tuning out, I've got like 5 minutes left. If you're tuning out because you don't really care about celebrities, peace. I still love you. Don't forget, check out the webinar that Lada and I are doing on Uranus and Taurus. It is below. The link is below. So it's on May 6th. It's a month from now exactly. So you have a chance to book your spot now. Early bird prices right now through May 1st. All right. So now, if you're still with me, let's look at Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan. Let's see what's going on with them. And part of me, I may talk a little fast. The moon is in my 3rd house today, allowing me to do that because I've got 5 minutes, you guys, like 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more to go over this with you guys before I have to check out. Okay, so let's take a look. So for those of you guys who don't know, if you don't know who Channing Tatum is, he is an actor, okay? He's been in lots of different movies. Most known for his role in Magic Mike. Hello. Mostly known for his role in the movie Magic Mike, in the series of the Magic Mike movies, and also Step Up, the Step Up movies. So he was in the first Step Up movie back in, I think, 2006, I want to say, and he met his wife, Jenna. He met her on set. She was also in the movie. So they starred in this movie together, and then they end up falling in love. How beautiful, right? Okay, so they just announced themselves that they are getting a divorce, but they did it in a very friendly-ish kind of way. And somebody, I heard somebody mention today, they said, this kind of reminds me of, what's her name? Gwyneth Paltrow, who's a Libra, by the way, and her conscious uncoupling statement that she made about divorcing from her husband years ago. And I was like, things that make you go, that really does sound like some Libra stuff, right? So lo and behold, I pull up the charts. Okay, so we do not have a birth time for Channing. We do not have a birth time for Jenna, but I suspect them both to be Libra moons. And here's why. Number one, their statement. Okay, it was a joint statement. It said love Chan and Jen or whatever. So it had both of them on it together. Libra is a sign of together and partnership. Number two, how nice that statement was and how they said, oh no, you guys, we're fine. We're still just friends and all that. Total Libra stuff, okay? So this is set for 12 p.m., this chart. But if he were born like I'm gonna say like 6 p.m. or later on his birthday, he could be a Libra moon. And he comes off as kind of Libra moon to me too. Jenna, this is set for 12 p.m. once again. So she can either be a Scorpio moon or a Libra moon conjunct Pluto. Either way, she's got a very Scorpionic look to her, right? Like her eyes are like super like Scorpio. Anyway, I suspect her to maybe also be a Libra moon. But there was just a full moon in Libra, wasn't there? There was a full moon in Libra March 31st, and they announced their separation around that time. So whenever there's a full moon, that's the sun and moon in opposite signs. If it lands in your sign, your sun, moon, or your ascendant, that can mean there is something that you are making a decision about in regards to your relationship. And it's usually there's a breaking point that things have come to where you say, you know what, we can't take this anymore. Bam, this is what we're going to do, or I'm deciding this, right? What caused their divorce? I've got like 2 minutes, so I'm going to probably talk like the micro machines, man, back in the day. Okay, I have a theory here. So that everybody says that Channing is the one that has been over this marriage for a while. The last year has been rocky, and he hasn't even lived in the house for several months. This could be the reason why. Uranus transit, shameless plug. Once again, this is why my Uranus webinar may be super important for you to attend, okay? Because Uranus is at the latest degrees of Aries right now. And it is inching toward, I think it's at like the 28th degree or something right now. But it's been dancing back and forth in, the 20-something degrees of Aries. It has been conjunct his Mercury. This is his thinking. Whenever Uranus conjuncts one of your personal planets, unfortunately, knock on wood, y'all, because that's going to be me in a month or so. It can signify you wanting a change in your life. You tired of the same old every day, the norm. You need some excitement in your life. So he's been receiving the electric shocks and buzzes of Uranus over his Mercury for maybe like the last couple of years. And then he's an early degree Taurus sun. So the more Uranus inches up towards being in the sign of Taurus, even in the last degrees of Aries, it's still coming close to his sun. So he's still feeling that Uranian buzz. The sun is your ego. It's your identity. It's this is who I am. So Uranus is creeping up on that. So he's feeling like maybe the marriage is not, it's no longer authentic and true to who he is. Okay. So Uranus could be one of the culprits here if they said that he's the one that's been kind of not really feeling the marriage anymore. What else? Where's my, yeah. So also Saturn has been transiting over both their natal Neptunes. He has Venus in opposition to Neptune. Venus 20 degrees Gemini. Here's Neptune 20 degrees of Sag. Jenna also has Neptune 20 degrees of Sag because they were born the same year. Okay, and then Saturn transited over this last year. Now, Neptune rules fantasy and glamour. And when it comes to relationships, Neptune is like, oh, this person's my dream person. We're in a dream world together. They even said in their statement that they had a magical beginning and a magical relationship. So there could have been some like Neptune stuff going on and to initiate that relationship. And then when Saturn transits over your Neptune, listen, that shatters all fantasy in your life, okay? And it can make you see a person for who they really are. We don't know their ascendants. We don't know their birth time to know what Neptune rules in their charts. You know, maybe for one of them, it could rule one of their relationship houses, or maybe both of them. You know what I'm saying? So for him, it was opposing his Venus. Venus opposite Neptune, that means he can see women in a very fantasy, idealistic light. And it's opposite his wife's Neptune too. So he saw her as like so magical. And that's why they met on the set of a movie, which Neptune rules, dancing, which Neptune rules. But once Saturn started hitting that up last year, it was shattering his fantasy, which it was making him maybe see her more clearly, like, I don't know who I married. That could be a possibility. Okay, I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, but that's a possibility with that type of a transit. The last thing is eclipses on their nodes. They both have North Node in Leo, South Node in Aquarius by birth. And whenever there are eclipses on your nodes, that can mean someone being eclipsed in or someone being eclipsed out. A lot of times it does signify the end of a relationship or a marriage. Not every time, but a lot of times it can, depending on where it lands in your chart, especially. So who knows, for either or both of them, their nodes could be in the relationship houses, you know? So it just means it's a time of extreme change in your life where you're going on a different journey, you're going in a different direction. When you have these eclipses return to their cycle, you know, of when you were born. And that happens to everybody at around age 18 and 19, and then like 36, 37, 38 years old. Okay. So and they're both the same age. So, you know, they're both going through that right now. So that is it, guys. I've got a jet. I'm actually running a little behind. So I will see you guys next week. I'll have a special surprise for you guys possibly next week, maybe a special guest, I don't know, we'll see. Mercury retrograde tends to laugh at plans, but I have some things planned for next week, so I hope to see you guys then. Don't forget to hit me up if you would like a reading. My information is below. Don't forget to hit up my Uranus and Taurus webinar with Lada. Once again, I'm mentioning it so many times because I'm so hyped, I'm so hyped about it, to share that stuff with you guys. So have a wonderful weekend. Have a great week. Woo-saw, tap into soothing colors and music and everything else so that the intensity doesn't get to you too badly. All right, guys. So take care of yourselves. See you later. Peace.